another gossip, another moment. How do we call it? So welcome to Edutainment for us once more to the social reaction. Of course, I'm starting late. I was writing my book. I've finished about 9 chapters, but I'm supposed to revise thoroughly so that I don't put on the market a book that does not have enough content. So guys, after finishing that authorship, let me come here to YouTube and react a little bit. Welcome once more. People who always watch haters will be here to tell me to stop hatred, and because I am not a hater, I'll keep correcting them and reminding them critical analysis must go on. Welcome. And of course, after this, I'll be going to a political reaction based on what we have seen in the political world with Gachagua stepping in Murang'a. So welcome once more, and thank you so much for tuning in to our channel. Keep logging in and say hi to me once you come in. It's very important for me, remember. And I still appreciate Plant being a best. And Imbrogli, thank you so much for your super slaps, and I really appreciate for your presence and for your presence on my channel. So let me come here and again travel through with you through what we have just got from ROCIO, Caborera, and from MWANGO. So I'll start with MWANGO and then come to ROCIO. So of course, we are watching the interracial couple closely because they are reminding us to do so, and they are also welcoming us with their titles. Of course, why not? So today I had a privilege to watch MWANGO again, and I have some few things to comment on. Not everything, of course, because there are a lot of things you can comment on if you want. So in the discussion, I got interested because, what MWANGO was telling us is that she did not go to Poland to stay. I'm like, women with intentions, guys. When I decide to go see my boyfriend and I really purpose to marry, I should just say I did. You can't come about and say you didn't purpose for it. I don't think so. Because actually, I remember the packing that MWANGO did while leaving the villa. She actually picked some of the intimate stuff for herself. You remember the packing? If you don't remember, please go back to a video and watch. No harm, okay? I just want to reason together with you. Now, in this video, she comes out and tells us she came to Poland not with a purpose to stay, but she wanted just to go about and travel because of the visa. But I remember before she left Kenya, she was saying that she is actually going to see the in-laws so that at least something comes up if possible. What was that something if not marriage, guys? Sometimes we just need to, say the truth as it is. There is no need to go around in circles, lie. After all, it doesn't add up. I don't know. That's for me. That's what I think. Because I believe that when this girl left Kenya, she was already tired with Kenya. You remember, she started with selling some stuff, giving away that house in Mombasa, and people are like, she's doing a wise choice so that she can focus on the house. But if her focus was on the house, how comes she moved away? Let's just agree. If the focus after relocating from Mombasa and getting mat to the village was to actually do construction, tell me, if a woman has purpose to leave some things and focus fully on the construction, there is no way that MWANGO would actually have traveled to Poland and then finally got stuck there in a marriage. There is no way. So tell me that she came from the village aware that she's going to Poland and she will make it happen. She will marry Piero and she will stay in Poland, then work things out so that she's able to travel in the entire of Europe. That's what she has just said. But some people who wait for her to say directly are waiting, and they'll come here to actually argue against what we are saying. But that is exactly what I think she did. So to come out in this video today, the video she released yesterday, and say that she didn't plan to come and stay in Europe, I think it's a white lie, generally. Because what I know about women, when they focus towards something, for example, they want to take care of children, Even if you give them a job and they don't want to be there, they'll deny it. If they want to actually factor bidding, they'll focus on that until it's over, complete, done and dusted. Then they'll move on to a different place. But tell me why actually MWANGO moves from Mombasa, gives away everything, brings the vehicle in the village, and then for a while sits there doing some content around the house, and then sometime even she left that and went to Tanzania. Then boom, from somewhere she told us she has got a ticket to go to Europe, and she traveled to Poland. Then from there she's stuck there. Of course, now finally we saw a civil wedding. So I don't think these things are happening by coincidence. What I just think as a critical analyst is that she actually planned all this. She planned all this all along. Some people will not agree. They'll say it is a plan of God, a plan of whatever. Yeah, God normally has a destiny for us, but sometimes we plan things. And that is why some things don't work for us. If you can't tell me that God always purposes that we keep trying and failing. I don't think so. I just don't think so. So when I looked at her video and she was telling us that when she moved to America, she didn't purpose to actually have this plan to stay and get married, I thought she was lying, because in the first place, as a woman, when I'm purposing to travel from here to, let's say, South Africa, if I have seen maybe a certain man there who has interested me, my plan would actually be telling me that once I get there, in case he asks me to stay, I'll stay. And therefore, when I'm packing my stuff, I'll pack with that initiative of what do I want to go with. And of course, as I've told you, when she was packing, for those who are very keen, that day she actually cleaned everything. She even washed mat, and cleaned things and stuffed in her bag and left. You remember the bags she packed? She told us she's picking the most intimate things for herself. Why? Yeah, why? Just ask yourself. So in this video, she came up to tell us that she did not purpose to go to Poland and stay, but God had a purpose. It just came about. That one, I believe it's a lie. I just think it's a lie. It's a lie, my dear. It's a lie. Because you can't, as a woman, we don't do that. If your plan in life was actually to make sure you've put all your energy around the Meda Villa and finish your construction, you would actually have waited and finished. You would actually have invited Peter to Kenya, because even if he's working, I can see he has some free time all over the place. He could have come again to Kenya. You could even have spent in Tanzania, which is near your home, as you focus fully on your construction. You wouldn't have made that effort, because once you move away from your project, it stalls. There is a difficulty in how it will be maintained, and also your effort. You know, I've learned something about distant relationships, and also when you are working away from home. I once worked for a very long time, around 10 years away from home. And I realized that sometimes when you're working away from home, you cannot commit to the project back in the at home. You cannot. You will hardly even do anything. And even if you do, you'll do with a very little commitment, because you are not there. You know very well you are not going to use this thing, so you will not commit so much to using it. Yeah. So I don't know why MWANGO sometimes just comes up to give some information that would actually be like a surprise or suspense or whatever. That's maybe a strategy to use in content creation. But what I believe is she is actually lying about something. Recently, I actually showed you demo of Facebook, and she said, in life, people plan things. People plan. They say that at this age, you know, even when you are young, we used to plan. We say that when I'm at this age, I'll be at this level. Once I finish college, I'll be doing this. Then in a year, when a year starts, you have short-term goals, you have long-term goals. Long-term goals go beyond 1 year. Short-term goals are within 1 year. Some are within a month. Some are within a 3-month period or 4. Some are within a day. Some are within a week. So I don't think you can actually just go somewhere and stay. Then your boyfriend proposes to you, marry me, then you marry. No, that's something you've discussed behind the cameras. You've decided. In fact, I believe before MWANGO traveled from Kenya to Poland, they had already planned with Piotr that they'll actually have to have something like that, a formalization of some kind of couple, so that they be acting together in their videos. No wonder once she did that, she went to Poland, she reached at some point, then she showed his face, and then now we began seeing a change, and then the civil marriage. So guys, I don't agree. Some of you will agree with her lie, but I don't agree. Now I want us to listen to something, because in their arguments about AU, Shanigan, and whatever, DeeMWANGO was actually expressing a lot, talking everything, not giving a chance to Piotr to say some things. And then, bam, he came about and expressed something, and it was actually, he knew the truth. DeeMWANGO did not know the truth. I was like, guys, okay, it's coming out not very correct. I wish you people had discussed this earlier, so that when you are coming to express content to the people, they know that they are following the right script. Now, which script do they follow? But anyway, someone who listen carefully will realize that Piotr was actually giving the right information, while whatever DeeMWANGO was trying to do is just verbatim. Now, I was surprised at first that she has said she only traveled 9 countries in Africa. And she's an African. On her YouTube, she calls herself Mama Africa. I was like, why do you call yourself Mama Africa when you have not even traveled the entire Africa, or even half of it? She has only traveled 9 countries, and of course, Piotr made her remember she has traveled 11. Can you imagine? And in fact, the mentioning of countries, North Africa, she has very limited countries she has gone to. The southern part of Africa, she has traveled very few. In fact, which country did she mention on the side of southern part? Because on the northern side, she has only gone to Ethiopia, not Sudan, not Somali, and all those other countries in the northern part of Africa. Then when you go to West Africa, maybe she mentioned something to do with Nigeria and Ghana, and which other? I didn't hear more. Then there was, she mentioned East Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, of course, and Uganda. Not many others. Then when you go to the, which other side? So you realize that actually calling herself by that name of Mama Africa, it's a foul game. It's actually a foul game, or the memo that Piotr was talking about. Now let's just listen briefly to the video, and then we proceed on to see more, and then we'll be coming to ROCIO Caborera. Kimila, welcome. Welcome. So let's listen to this. And you can actually share your sentiments.
Once I'll be able to go there, I want to go to every country. I just want to go there. And then without rush, I want to go there and observe, live in the countryside. One of the countries that I have so much interest in is Romania. Romania during summer is totally different. They have beautiful waterfalls, like the nature in Romania. I want to go deep in the villages. There are videos that I normally watch and they make me feel like I want to go to Romania. Thank God Romania has joined the EU, so that could be actually, that could be easier to go. You know what I mean?
All right. Now look at that facial expression. That facial expression was a disapproval automatically, and she was supposed to keep quiet. When somebody gives you that look, you actually wait and say, oh, am I wrong? Let me know. But she just continued speaking, and she said, oh yes. I was like, From my side as an audience, I can see there's something wrong. So Kimila, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go back and see.
Because when these countries are not like in this category, because once you have access for one country, you could go. Previously, I came to Europe, but I couldn't go to Romania because it wasn't EU.
You talk about Schengen, you don't talk about it.
Oh yeah, talk about Schengen. Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry, I made a mistake.
So when Piotr actually looked with disapproval, she was supposed to have waited and told him, okay, let me know. Because if, of course, they are now doing as a couple on their channel. But she kept speaking, and Piotr is a few word individual. So he waited until she slided into a mistake before he could now correct, because she was talking a lot and he could not just stand it, and he could not shout on the video. Of course, it's wrong to do so. So observing etiquette, he kept quiet until she had already slided into an error, then corrected, and then goes on. Now I learned something very shocking
there are
here.
EU countries with no Schengen,
Yeah.
and there are non-EU countries with within Schengen.
Within Schengen. Okay. So.
But many people confuse that.
Yeah,
That's
me
another
too.
lie that they feed in the media, that EU means borderless traveling. No. Borderless traveling is an agreement that...
Actually,
yeah.
baby, they could say it's borderless traveling, but tell them what really happens when you are here. So many times you get in a train.
Again, she faltered into this and began to explain what is borderless traveling. And she was disputing that borderless traveling does not mean that when you cross over, they'll not check your document. They'll automatically do. But again, Piotr comes and disputes it, says that there are some places they don't check. Totally. And I was like, When you are doing content with someone, unless you purpose to contradict each other, you must talk over it before you come out, because this means you people, you just come out to give us content without preparing. You don't prepare on the content because after all, you have audience who follow you. You don't care whether you are saying the truth or not. And I'm now beginning to believe in what PBTV was telling us the other day about a lot of things that she gives us about documents, about visas and all that. Should I now believe in that? I don't know what to do now so far. But anyway, the argument went on and this proceeded.
Immigration officers checking if you have the document. So you think it's borderless because they don't really stamp. They allow you. But there is a border. It's not really borderless. There is a border. You would find immigration people just coming in the bus, and they just, not in, yes, in the buses, in the trains, and they say, get out your traveling documents, your ID or your passport, even in buses.
Depending which country.
Depending.
Yeah. I think even now Germany made a border with Poland, but maybe not. But Poland to Germany, no border. Germany to France, no border. Netherlands to Belgium, no border.
No, so you know what I'm saying? But there's no border, but there are people who check the documents. No, that's what I mean.
These countries, no.
All right. So you realize that again here there is a difference of opinion. And again, once someone has a different view over what you're saying, it's always good, again, to listen maybe. They may be having the facts and you have just an idea about what's going on, So instead of actually paying attention, there was a continuation into the argument, and yet you are already on alive, Audience are watching. They want to actually believe in what you're saying. So what is the best thing to do here? The best thing to do would be to actually let the other person speak and express whatever they know. And possibly if what they are saying is reality, then we, again, take it and proceed. And that is why, again, I don't know. Some people who have made it in YouTube actually don't even research on what they go to talk about. They just simply go about, pause and begin talking because they feel they have already the audience. People will watch regardless, whether they are telling a lie or a true or full truth or have partial lie. People will just watch. And sometimes it's unfortunate because it kind of, is it misdirecting or kind of confuse some people? Because those who want to travel currently, for example, would you know what it means by borderless by listening to MWANGO? You wouldn't. Because now, unless Piotr came out and clarified, we would trust her fully that it is not, borderless doesn't mean you can travel without documents. But then from his end, he clarifies that there are specific countries, which means before you travel, maybe you need to research and find out which are these nations you can go without document. Of course, someone who is just traveling and going back will automatically carry their documents. It's not like you can actually, once you have a visa or passport, when you are traveling to places, I don't think you leave them just to taste the waters. You would rather travel with them, because I've watched people like Wodemaya, the African Tigress, and so many others who are traveling. There's another new one I saw the other day, traveling all over the places. There is this one who has gone with a motorbike up to South Africa, and still diversing to many other nations. And of course, they'll automatically have their documents, no matter what, unless otherwise. So there is no way you will just attempt to go without just because you've heard of borderless. That's what I believe. But that's me. I don't know. Maybe other people will have other opinions. You can drop your opinion if it is divergent from what I'm sharing. And what do you think about this discussion? Because it came about as if it's more of an argument, something that they had not come up with. Because what I know, when you are doing a dual content, you are supposed to have agreement on information, unless you've decided one will be against, one will be for. In debating kind of, which we see on let's say television or maybe radio stations, that's what I normally see, some people taking a divergent stand, while others maybe support, others are against. But this was not that kind of talk. So why this diversion or difference of opinion? That's what I'm asking here.
They don't check?
No. But
At all?
now Romania, yeah, Bulgaria, yeah, Croatia, yeah, like, you know, Switzerland, maybe yes. I don't know, I never been.
Okay, before when I came to Europe, I don't remember exactly which countries, but I remember multiple times the immigration officers could get in the train and they just say show. And they take like 2 seconds just to see and they're gone. They don't stop, they don't do nothing. They just see like, oh, she or he has an ID or has a valid visa, and they go. They don't ask you nothing or stamp or nothing at all. And they keep going. You know, still they would say that's borderless, but really, people will check, which is still good, you know, because people have to protect their countries, you have to be here legally, and all that. I don't see any offense in that. They're just doing their job.
For sure.
Yeah.
Borders are important.
Yeah, that aside, it's now my 5th month here. About to begin.
Okay, so that is the part I started with by saying that I don't believe the fact that there was no plan to actually stay for long. When you look at the family of ROCIO, actually when they came from Argentina to Kenya, and then they stayed. Of course, the plan was they were supposed to leave in January. Of course, I was so surprised to see them leaving urgently in December and then carrying ROCIO along. Maybe it's just because they don't want to show everything on camera, which we respect, you know. If you don't want to show everything on camera, it's okay. Maybe you can fill the gaps, but at least you've not told us. But then I suspect there was something that happened between that duration of December. After traveling, they went to, was it a park? And then after that, we just saw that they are going. And while leaving, we didn't imagine ROCIO would be following them, but she actually went along with them. They stepped in Europe before going to Argentina. And of course, we feel a lot of gaps to ask ourselves why this had to happen. But then MWANGO is coming up to tell us that she did not expect to overstay in Poland, which I don't fully believe. I don't fully believe in what she's saying, because while leaving Kenya, I remember the parking, the communication, the indication that she didn't know how soon she will be back. And of course, she assured us that the construction will go on because she doesn't have necessarily to be there. There are people who are there to do it. And with a full contract, the contractor would just work on the project without her presence. All her duty was to give Mula. That is exactly what she said, right? I don't have to go back to the videos, but that's what I remember, at least. And not just as a hearsay, but what I watched in one of her videos. Now, let's go on and hear what she tells us about this, about the 5 months now.
Who would have thought? Only God knew. I was telling them my plan was to come here, be here for a while, let's say 2 months or something, move around, you know, as much as I could, because you know when you get these visas, you have to use them to the max before you leave, okay? So it's like I want to move around, I want to check quick, and then, yeah, and then maybe I would be back in Africa. That's what I thought, because of my construction and other things. Because I didn't live in mind that not coming back anytime soon. I knew I'll be going back probably in January or something. But now we're here, and I think it's just God's plan.
Somebody fade, tag, fine. Very good comment. The same for Africa. I traveled to.
Okay, so you realize that Piotr actually cut down that parroting process, because it was like he knew what she's saying was not actually correct. It was not accurate. There are some misinformation that we are getting here. So he decided, oh, let's move away from that topic. And he brought about the new discussion around the Africa. And this is where now we begin saying, are you really Mama Africa? After traveling only 9 countries, then you are Mama Africa. Then everybody would be Mama Africa, because somehow it's easy to get to some countries, especially on the borders like Ethiopia, Somali, Sudan. Ethiopia, Somali, Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda. Which other is close? Those are 5, 6. South Africa, of course, especially if you're focused towards summits and studies, you can easily get there. And then currently, Burundi. Once you get to Rwanda, Burundi can be an easy country to access. And of course, Zaire, you can now expand to Zaire. And of course, that will be already 10 countries, you see. Nigeria is also a very common country. And once you go to Nigeria, I believe you can go to Ghana and all those West African countries that we have heard of. If you go to South Africa, I believe you can easily go to Swaziland and those countries around it, Lesotho and such, okay? So looking at this, 9 countries out of all, Africa is made of so many countries, right? How many countries, by the way? Anyone who can type right there? Anyone who can type, how many countries make Africa? I'm waiting. How many countries make Africa? Of course, there are 54 countries, right? 54. So 54 countries in Africa, someone has only gone 11 and they call themselves Mama Africa. I think that title should come down. I don't know even if she has actually explored the entire Kenya, because the only place I've seen her commonly is Nairobi. Of course, she studied in Eldoret, so which means she has explored the western parts and also the wherever she comes from. Yeah, and of course, coast maybe she has explored, but when it comes to other regions, has she traveled even to other areas of Kenya? So even calling yourself Mama Kenya, let's say, and you've gone only to few counties, yet we have all those counties, it will be a foul game. So here, Piotr came out to clarify that you cannot say you have been to Africa if you've only gone to few countries. You cannot also say you've been to Europe if you've only gone to few parts of the European nation. That most people just go to, maybe they go to Germany, they go to maybe which other, he mentioned some countries and then say they have been in Europe. That is a white lie, according to Piotr, not me. And therefore, I also agree with that, because if you only explore a few nations out of that and then say you have been in that, then you would be giving people a false information, because you don't know even the culture, you don't know the physique, the features, you don't know those nations very well. You just know it partly. So it would be a lie actually to say. So I agree with what Peter was saying on the channel. So let's listen.
Africa, exactly. Like they say, oh, I went to Africa. Like me, I went to Africa because I was in Kenya, and it's very harmful, like ignorant. Yeah, because. But I saw these memes also about Aisho Speed. He is the first person who said I traveled to Africa, and he actually visited whole Africa.
Yeah. Whole Africa? Not whole Africa.
Like 30 countries or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least.
He can say it's Africa.
Actually, let me count how many countries I've been to Africa. Kenya.
I wish you wouldn't have done so.
Uganda, Tanzania. Where else have I been? Ethiopia, I've been there. Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Namibia. Those are 9 countries. What? 9 countries only in Africa? Which country have I forgotten, guys? If there's a country I've forgotten and I've been there, please let me know. 9? Only 9? Out of 70 plus. And it's my continent.
Okay, it's crazy, right? Crazy. Mama Africa. Just after traveling 11 countries or 9 out of 54, then you become Mama Africa? I don't think so. But sometimes when we crown ourselves, we just do take these titles without actually clarifying for them. Because I believe there are people who have traveled more countries than 11, and maybe they have not called themselves Father Africa or Sister Africa or whatever it is. But now, DeMongo on her channel, she keeps calling herself Mama Africa every now and then. And I'm surprised. I'm actually shocked that she has only gone to 9 countries, or rather 11. Now, she tells us that she's gone to 70 countries. So out of 70 countries, you mean you only managed to go to 9 Kenyan countries? Anyway, this is a challenge actually. So which means if I make efforts go to 20 countries, Africa, then I'll have already done something as an African anyway. So it is what it is. We are not competing, but I'm just doing an analysis here to actually get to understand why people give themselves titles and yet maybe they have not actually qualified to give themselves such titles. So far, ROCIO Cabrera, now back in Argentina, is actually getting to meet the dreams of her life because she told us that she was tired with the villa life, living without warm water, living in that heartbreaking situation, and all that shenanigans. She got tired with it, and so when she arrived in Argentina, she said she wants to heal and now start her life. And of course, we can see she's starting it again. And what have we seen? Of course, she did painting. She said it's meditational. It also offers you a moment to reflect. And of course, the studio she wanted to put in Nyabohanse has finally landed in Argentina. So let's see this. Let's see this before we look at what Kohera is sharing here. So the video was somewhere. Let me just get to find it. There was a video here showing exactly what she's doing. Of course, I opened it. Oh, Jaden Mix. Jaden Mix, hello. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for showing up. And let me get to show the next video on ROCIO Cabrera. So ROCIO came out with a very a video. Hello to you. So she came up with this studio. I don't want to show the face of the child, but it's still there.
To my green wall. It looks better than I was expecting. I was a little bit scared when I opened the wall, the paint, but with I gave it 3 layers, and it's actually it's looking quite nice. I really like it. I don't know if the camera make good sense to it, but I'm liking it very much. I was hoping for this video. It didn't record for a couple of days. Maisha, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. I was hoping, as I didn't record for a couple of days, that this wall would have been done. But the man that is about to do this, he told me that he felt sick and I don't know what, so he could have done it. But I didn't trust myself enough. Para Maisha, no. Mira, vamos a mostrarle esto. Look. I will show you when it makes more sense, because now it doesn't make any sense because I have the bed over there in a different position and outside from a little bit farther. How nice it looks. Another look. Wow, Maisha, wow, what do you have? That's mine. That is mine. Oh, and this is the end result for this floor also.
it's looking. I mean, it makes it look more neat, you know. So a lot of progress here. Today I am waiting for some orders that I did also. So I'm excited about that, and I hope I can show you in this video. Oh, and I'm very excited for tonight. Now I'm about to prepare some breakfast, and I have a little bit of a mess here in the studio because as I don't have, as you see, I didn't want to show you. No wardrobe here, no baby bed anymore. Those are gone. I'm using this table as a desk over to one side and test how this looks as a desk. I will make a final decision to see if I and tonight I'm very excited because I am going to see one of the best ballet dancers that we have in Argentina. His name is Iñaki Urlesaga.
All right, so ROCIO actually is into music. Something that she was missing while in Nyabohanse, she kept actually longing for that. So you can actually see she's going back to ballet dance. Ballet dance is one of the most interesting dances, just like salsa and many other dances that are very enhancing. They really enhance body-wise, mentally, and in many other ways. So she said she's going to see Iñaki, a very famous dancer in Argentina, so that maybe she begins to learn, you know. When she was doing it in Nyabohanse, actually, she was messing up a little bit, and we were like, what the hell? But now she's finally decided to go learn her movement so that she does ballet. Patience Mwanza, welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for showing up on the channel again. Yesterday I saw you, and now I can see you here. I appreciate your support. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Jaden Max also do the same. And appreciation for all the comments on the comment section. It enhances a lot of our logarithm on our YouTube channel, and we really appreciate. So ROCIO is telling us that she's going to meet Iñaki so that she can go learning the ballet. Of course, for those of you who have seen ballet, it's such a wonderful, amazing, scintillating, thrilling dance that one would want to have. And it really does a lot of enhancing to the body and mental and whatever. And of course, because her studio is not in order, she cannot do it here. And even if she has to do it here, she has to learn something like that already. And now I found it so funny that people ran to say she's meeting a hot date. I was like, you people are just too much, because ROCIO is planning on her life. When she went back to Jamaica, Argentina, and talked about healing and reconstructing her life, we can actually see the steps one by one. She finally made it to paint her studio. She's doing her B&B, and she's moving step by step. And of course, people are still watching her with the 51,000 subscribers. She will get what she wants to get, right? So I don't know why some people are insinuating that that one is just a hot date. I don't know. Maybe you can call it so. But it's for me, I would consider it a movement, a step within her musical world. Because actually, if you are doing the kind of music ROCIO does, you need to learn salsa, you need to learn ballet, and even the kung, there is this dance that came around, it's known as kung mot. Yeah, those kind of modern dances that are also ancient, but they really have a prolonging effect, that they have stayed for long, and they have an impact on the music someone is trying to produce. And I think that kind of music that ROCIO has to upscale on, get experts to make her learn, and also better herself. Because if she decided that Argentina is her life, then she needs to really do a lot to restructure and take on. So in the video, she explains how she will drop Maisha at the Sister Romane place. Then she goes and learns whatever she has to learn. But it is what it is. Sometimes it is just necessary, as she had said it in the video.
Live, but he's older now. He's a grown man already at this point. And in Argentina, is well known for for his dancing, of course, and for his very long career at this point. And I'm very excited. I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to drop Maisha with my sister Romina for those 2 hours. And I'm gonna go to the theater by myself, which is something that really excites me. I'm a person that really enjoys those activities by herself. Like, I can go to the cinema by myself. I can go to the theater by myself. I can even go to eat by myself. Like, I'm not someone that really needs a company for those type of things.
All right, guys. So you realize that there's a contrast between the life that was in Nyabohanse, that life that she was actually just imprisoned within a villa. There was no life beyond, actually. It was a kind of boring life in a villa. Then within the home, whereby you just go to the farm, you go to the river, nothing much. No. People now begin to understand why she decided to go back to Argentina, because Argentina now is giving her the life she really adores, and she's telling it on camera. She says that she is actually thrilled up with going to the cinema, going to the theater, actually learning that kind of music, whatever, that kind of environment that will offer her growth even in her studio, which is currently doing, or rather enhancing, cinema thrills. Why do you call people bro? At yo bro, how are you? Who is bro? Okay, so she shared that, and of course, which is okay, because yeah, as far as maybe Nyaboanse is a village that is expanding, going international or whatever it is, there are things that are not there. It's just a village in the middle of nowhere. Of course, maybe some things are there that people will say they're exciting, but what's so exciting in Nyaboanse? Not the shenanigans, the fights over roads, the fights over, I don't know, land that has been bought, drunkards all over the place, the river that is so polluted, the dogs and all that. Yeah, of course, people would blame. I've seen a lot of people blaming her that she brought the idea of horses to Marwa, then left the horses. But Marwa is still saying that he will hold on horses and even sell them in the markets or in Dubai and all that. So I don't see any loss in that decision. But if her decision actually gives her peace, then that is what matters more to her. And we can see her shining, glowing better than how she was in the villa. Because that life, of course, we heard about the domestic abuse that was going on right there. Also, the kind of life that was there was not her kind. Sweet potatoes, the ugali, the whatever, is not that kind of life she wanted. And we saw from the time the parents or the sisters came, we saw her actually showing that change on what she wants and what she has. That contrast was very clear. Of course, if you have checked with most critical analysts, or rather what we call reactors, some people call them haters, you saw clearly what's coming. Maybe people just didn't expect it, but you saw it coming, and you saw her sharing that she was very much happy, that she had never expected that her parents would come in Kenya, particularly in her villa. So when they came and we saw what we saw, then finally the big bags were packed and she actually got to the destination she's now happy from. So that was it. So let's check on much more and then finish our video.
Because I love that. And yeah, I'm very excited. So tonight I'm having a gala event. I need to dress up elegant. So that is, I mean, not so super elegant, but quite okay, you know? So.
The commercial break.
Let's have for that. Okay, let's eat. Something just arrived. Okay, let's set them up and see how they look. Cute. And they give a lot. Actually, one plant of cherries can actually give more tomatoes than the big tomatoes. You know? We have 2 more here coming, but we have 3 in here. And for this one, I have ready to harvest. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ready to harvest. Delicious, delicious. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now I'm going to work with my dad to put some, how do I call this in English? In Spanish, we call this repisa. It's basically a hanger, but not necessarily the hanger to hang clothes. It's more like to put stuff. You will see what I mean. Or maybe I just check the translation on the phone. Actually, I just drilled the wood, and I'm going to add another one here, and this is how it's going to look. I'm going to be able to actually move some things from here and put them here. I'm also trying.
All right, so that is it in the loading process. Thank you so much for those who are subscribing, those who are liking, those who are sharing, those who are dropping comments. I really appreciate your presence all the time, and may we continue subscribing to the channel, because our target this year, we are supposed to have at least 6,000 subscribers on the minimum, okay? So what are you waiting for? If you have not subscribed but you're watching, then you are not doing us justice. So I appreciate all those who showed up today, and I know many people will be watching the video maybe later on. I've seen that happen. Once I'm also done with the live stream, people keep watching, and I appreciate. Anytime you watch, please subscribe if you've not subscribed, like the video, and also share. Encourage more people to subscribe to the channel, so that we also help us small YouTubers to grow, okay? Yeah, so thank you so much. Let me go to the political reaction, then see whether I can go to my other channel and do something.